Spain was supposed to be freedom. A graduation gift to myself. One country, one suitcase, and one promise: be brave. No itineraries, no one telling me what to do. Just the sun, sangria, and whatever came next. I arrived in Seville on a Tuesday afternoon. It smelled like oranges and cigarettes. Music drifted through the alleys, and even the pigeons moved with charm. I fell in love with the city instantly, but I didn't expect to fall for a person too. I met Mateo at a wine bar near the Plaza de España. Tall, dark-haired, white linen shirt with sleeves casually rolled. He asked if I was American before I said a word, said I had the freedom look. I laughed. He smiled. And just like that, I wasn't alone anymore. Over the next few days, we explored together. He knew every alley, every rooftop view, every secret courtyard. Locals greeted him by name. He translated menus, ordered dishes I'd never heard of, taught me how to say "I'm lost" in Spanish, just in case. We danced to a flamenco trio in the street. I felt like the main character in someone else's story. Then on our fifth night, he said, "You've seen the city. Now let me show you my world." We took a cab to his home just outside Seville, a white villa with ivy-covered walls and black iron gates, charming, quiet, and isolated. Inside, it smelled faintly sweet, like old flowers or something trying to hide rot. I asked about it. He waved it off. "Old pipes," he said. He poured wine, put music on, lit candles. The charm was back. But I noticed something. A door in the hallway. Locked. Heavy. I asked about it. He hesitated. "Just storage." Then he changed the subject. Later that night, as I lay in the guest room, I heard something, a low creak, like footsteps on stairs. Then a drag, like someone pulling something heavy across a concrete floor. Then silence. I told myself it was a dream, that this trip was everything I wanted, that Mateo was just Mateo. But in the dark, I couldn't shake the feeling that this story was no longer mine. The next morning, Mateo made breakfast. Said he didn't sleep well. Said he kept hearing things. He smiled when he said it, but his eyes didn't. I mentioned heading back into the city. He laughed. "Already?" Then said the buses were on strike. Said he'd drive me later, after dinner. I didn't argue. But I started noticing things. There was a smear on the hallway tile, dark red, right outside the locked door. He caught me staring, said it was just wine from a clumsy night, but I knew wine didn't dry that color. Later, I wandered into the garden, dead plants, cracked pots, and something odd. A neat row of shoes, half buried in the dirt, all women's, all different sizes, as if they'd been planted there and left to rot. I snapped a photo, emailed it to myself, just in case. That night, more wine. I asked where his family lived. He said Madrid, then Morocco. When I asked which, he chuckled, said the heat was getting to me, touched my cheek too gently, like he was testing something. I told him I was tired. He insisted on walking me to my room. I declined. He still followed. I closed the door, then heard a click. Soft, too soft, unless you were listening. 2:47 a.m. I woke up, heard chains dragging, then 3 thuds, muffled, from under the floor. I crept to the hallway, stood in front of the locked door, put my ear to it. There was breathing, fast, shaky, not his. I backed away, locked myself in, wedged a chair under the handle, opened my email. Gone. The photo, the draft, everything. At breakfast, I asked to call a cab. He smiled. said his phone was dead, then held up mine. "I charged it for you," he said, and set it on the table. Everything inside me screamed, "Run!" But I smiled, because if I wanted to get out alive, I couldn't let him know I was afraid. I waited until Matteo left the villa. He said he had an appointment. I watched from upstairs as his car disappeared, waited 5 minutes. Then I moved. I wasn't escaping yet. I needed answers. The locked door, the breathing, the missing photo. I searched his study. Second drawer down, a stack of passports, all women, all tourists. Mine was in the back, filed like I'd already vanished. I turned to the hallway, used a kitchen knife to pry the lock open. The door creaked. A staircase led downward into darkness. Cold air rose up, smelled like metal and mold. The basement walls were brick, not finished like the rest of the house. I ran my hand across the surface. Scratches, deep, names, numbers, like someone counting days. At the bottom, a single light bulb swung slowly. The floor was sticky. There was a wooden table, folded clothes stacked neatly on top. All women's, none of it dusty. A camera stood on a tripod, red light blinking, still recording. Then, a whisper from behind a second door, soft, "Help." I opened it slowly. She sat chained to a pipe, pale, eyes hollow, her voice cracked. "You have to go." Her name was Elise, from Belgium. She'd been there for over a week. No one had come. I tried the lock on the chain, no key. I promised I'd get help. Her grip tightened. "No one gets a second chance," she said. I raced upstairs, grabbed my passport, my phone, my bag, almost out the door. Then it opened. Matteo stood there, smiling, holding flowers. There were specks of blood on his sleeve. His eyes dropped to my bag, then locked onto mine. "Going somewhere?" Matteo stepped inside slowly, closed the door, set the flowers on a table. His smile didn't reach his eyes. "You weren't planning to leave already, were you?" I said I needed air. He tilted his head. "Air." He stepped closer. "You went into the basement." It wasn't a question. I backed away, tried to keep calm. He moved faster than I expected, grabbed my wrist, tight. My phone slipped from my hand. Bag hit the floor. I yanked free and ran for the back door. He chased me, boots pounding behind me. I sprinted into the overgrown garden. Branches whipped my face. I ducked behind a dying tree, held my breath. He passed by, too close, then turned around, saw me, charged. I tripped, fell hard. He lunged, grabbed my ankle. I kicked, caught him in the ribs. He growled, "Let go." I scrambled inside, ran straight to the basement. Elise was still there, eyes wide with fear. "He's coming," I whispered. She shook her head. "There's no way out." I searched the room, found an old wrench behind the table, gripped it tight, waited. The door creaked open. Matteo's footsteps echoed on the stairs. He was humming, that same flamenco tune. "You ruined everything," he said. "I was going to let you go." He raised a crowbar. I didn't hesitate. Swung hard. The wrench slammed into his head. He crumpled to the ground. I was shaking. Elise sobbed quietly. He wasn't dead, but he wasn't moving. I searched his pockets, found the key, unlocked her chain. We didn't wait. We ran. Out of the house, down the road. No plan, just distance. A small roadside gas station came into view. We burst through the door, shaking, wild-eyed. The clerk froze. I tried to explain, in broken Spanish, tears choking every word. He called the police. We waited in the back, flinching at every sound. They arrived fast, took statements, photographed Elise's bruises, took my phone, and listened carefully. An hour later, we were in the back of a police SUV, driving back toward the villa. Elise stayed silent. I held her hand, both of us afraid of what we'd find. But when we arrived, the house was empty. The garden untouched. No sign of Mateo, no blood on the tiles, no camera, no Elise's chain, just silence. The police searched every room. Basement was clean, walls scrubbed. The wrench gone. They looked at me like I was hysterical, asked if I'd been drinking, asked if I'd made it up. They said they'd write a report, said I could file a claim at the embassy, and just like that, it was over. They offered to drive me to a hotel. Elise asked to ride separately, said she needed space. I understood. I never saw her again. Back home in the States, I tried to forget, tried to move on, but nightmares came every night, always with that same humming, always in the dark, always ending in a locked door. I searched online for Elise. Nothing. No missing person report. No interviews. Not even a social profile. It was like she'd never existed, or worse, like she hadn't wanted to be found. 2 months later, I got a letter. No return address. Inside was a single photo. Mateo, standing on a beach, smiling. Next to him, Elise, smiling too. And in her hand, my passport. Thank you for joining me tonight on Midnight Passport. Where every journey ends in darkness. If this story kept you up, or made you question the face of a stranger, be sure to subscribe and leave a light on. New tales drop every week from the places you thought were safe. Because no matter where you go, evil always knows the way back. This is Midnight Passport, and your nightmare has only just begun.